Ah! 72 Convertible Impala LS3 swap. Are you working on an LS swap? Or do you have the desire to do an LS swap? You gonna need power steering. Power steering is a must. I've been through 3 different power steering gearboxes and 3 different power steering pumps. I spent a lot of time and I spent a lot of money. Today, YouTube, we're gonna walk over some LS swap power steering troubleshooting steps. This gonna help save you a lot of time and save you a lot of money, YouTube. But before we do that, I wanna ask you a question. How would you like to know how to do an LS swap in an old school car that run like this? I'm satisfied, YouTube, YouTube! '72 Convertible Impala LS3 swap. Looking at maybe almost 600 horsepower. We ain't put it on the dyno yet, YouTube. We did our own wiring. And we show y'all how to do the wiring, YouTube. Step by step. We did our fuel system. We show you how to do the fuel system as well. Step by step, YouTube. Everything you need to know. Now let's swap, baby. Make sure you watch this video all the way through. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notification bell. That way you see all the videos when we post them. And I need for you to drop me a comment in the comment section and say I'm riding with Chevy R Us, Tone. Let Chevy R Us help you do your LS swap, YouTube. We a family, man. We gonna do this thing together. Y'all ready? Let's get it, YouTube. YouTube. This your boy Tony Tone coming back at y'all one more again with another great video. YouTube. Y'all know what time it is, man. We out here in the garage, man. For those of y'all that don't know me, I'm Tony on Chevy R Us. And if you want to be encouraged, if you want to learn what's going on with working on these old school cars, doing these LS swaps, you want to see the things that people don't see behind the scenes, then you ride with me, YouTube. You want to learn how to do stuff, you want to be helped, then you stick with me, YouTube. I know a lot of people don't have the gift of working on cars or fixing up a car. A lot of people don't have that gift. But guess what? God blessed me with that gift. And that gift ain't for me. That gift is for you. So that's why I'm here, YouTube. So lock in with me. Make sure you subscribe. If you have not, click that subscribe button. Click that comment button. Leave me a comment. Turn your notification bell on. Matter of fact, you can find me on Instagram at Chevys_R_us. I put it up in the corner. And you can also find me on TikTok at Tony_S_wife. I'm gonna talk to you today about how you know your GM power steering gearbox is bad. Man, I've been through a lot with this power steering system, man. Let's get to it, YouTube. First things first, YouTube. You know, I want to talk about the history of what we've been facing, what we've been dealing with this power steering pump, YouTube. So here's the thing. So originally, let me show y'all. So as you can see, This is the serpentine setup. It all came as one complete unit. Yep, you see that? Whole serpentine setup came as one complete unit. And the power steering pump, which is right here. Show y'all. Yeah, there you go. You can see it right there. This is the power steering pump. Came with the system. And let me tell y'all what happened. So originally when I first got the vehicle running and it was drivable, you know, I did run the engine quite often. Even before I was able to drive the car, I ran the engine a lot. And so I don't know if you are aware, but this is one thing that you should not do. If you don't have power steering fluid in your pump and your reservoir ain't connected, I highly advise you not to run that engine much at all. You can crank it up and run it for maybe a minute or 2 minutes, then cut it off and let that be it. But don't continue to run your engine, especially if you do not have your power steering pump hooked up with fluid circulating through it. Because I honestly believe that that's what ruined my first power steering pump, is because I was running the engine without power steering fluid in it. And so when I did get the power steering lines routed and everything and hooked it up, it didn't work like it was supposed to. So what I had to do is I had to take that power steering pump back to the manufacturer or back to the company that I got the serpentine set up from, and they gave me another pump. And so that second pump, the second pump that I put on there, it worked good for about a whole week and a half. The pump worked fine. And after a week and a half of it working fine, it stopped working on me. And so I'm like, man, what's the problem? You know, this is the second power steering pump that I put on the car, and it stopped working. And so I was like, well, maybe it's my gearbox. Maybe that might be the problem. But before I changed the gearbox out, I said, let me take this power steering pump off. Let me take it back. And what they did is they tested it again, and it was losing pressure. It's supposed to have up to 1,500 PSI, but it didn't. Every time it go up, it'll start dropping. So I ended up getting another power steering pump because that one was bad. And so once I got that one and I put it on, you know, it kind of worked, but then again, it kind of didn't. Well, actually it did work, but I noticed, let me show you. So I noticed that whenever I was driving, you know, and I would steer and be driving, my wheel would kind of start sticking. It would stick, or stick. And it would actually not turn hard, but it'd just be a little sticky when it was steering. And so I said, you know what? That can't be the power steering pump. That has got to be this right here. The power steering gearbox. This is the power steering gearbox right here, YouTube. Let me show you the old one over here real quick. I think I got the old one over here. Yeah. So, yeah, got it packaged up and everything. So I think I'm gonna have to take that old one back out and send the new one back. But I spent a lot of money on this right here. I mean, that was pretty expensive. And so once I went through the trouble and put it on, it actually worked really good. I made a video about it. Matter of fact, I was happy. I was satisfied with it. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen that video when I put this on, click in that top right corner and check that video out. Power steering gearbox install, YouTube. We walked through in detail how we did it. You know, that's my first time ever doing it. I know that, you know, if I did it, I know that you can too, YouTube. But anyway, I put the power steering box on, and it worked good for one day. And then it stopped working. My power steering stopped working. So I'm like, oh my gosh, man. You know, I got frustrated, man. And you know what? That's one thing that people don't see behind the scenes. They don't see the frustration. They don't see the perseverance, man, that you got to go through. You know, a lot of people, you know, they get upset, they get angry, but I just want to explain something to you, YouTube. This is part of the process, man. You know, people just look out there and see them old school cars riding down the road. You know, for a person that restore the car themselves or put most of the work in themselves, you gonna face things like this. You gonna go through stuff like this to where you might swap something out 2 or 3 or 4 times, you know, to get it right. You gonna go through that. And so it's no reason to get frustrated. You just gotta have patience. When you find yourself getting frustrated, what you do, you take you a break. Like right now, I have not touched the 72 in about a week worth of time. So, you know, you want to take small breaks. You want to take breaks. You know, give your body a break. Give your mind a break. Just don't break from it too long, YouTube. But I remember one other situation when I was working on this car, this 72, when I was doing the fuel system. I had never built AN6 lines before. And I kept having to redo the lines because the lines kept leaking and kept leaking and kept leaking. It was stressing me out. I got frustrated. But you know what? I did not quit. I ain't quit. And now guess what? I know how to do an AN6 line in less than 5 minutes. I can put together one probably in less than 5 minutes. And it used to take me a long time. And you know, they just kept leaking. Now I do an AN6 line of fitting. My AN6 lines and fittings don't leak no more, YouTube. So I stuck with it. I continued. I didn't give up. And now I'm good at it. So I want you to do the same, YouTube. Persevere. Keep going. Stick with it. Don't give up. If you need to take a small break, you take a small break. Then you get back to it, YouTube. I'm here to tell you, man, I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to motivate you. Guess what? We're going to learn a lot together. You know, I just honestly believe that you could do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Remember that, YouTube. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And so, you know what? He's already done a lot through me working on this 72 Convertible Impala, because I've done a whole lot of stuff that I have never done before in my life. never thought I would do, like working on a convertible top. I ain't never worked on no convertible top before, but I did it. I fixed my convertible top mechanism. Check that video out. Click in the top right corner. Check that video out, YouTube. If you think what I'm telling you, if you like what I'm telling you, YouTube, hey, click your like button. Click the like button right now, YouTube. Matter of fact, if you agree with what I'm telling you, drop a comment in the comment section. Or share this video. Share it with your homeboys. Share it with your friends. Share it with your people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here for you. I'm here for you. But anyway, I got this new power steering box on here. And it worked good for a day, one day. So I said, well, dang, maybe the power steering pump gone back out again for the third time. So I took the pump off and took it to the spot, had them test it, and it's tested good. So that let me know that my power steering pump is good. Ain't nothing but one other component of your power steering system, and that's the power steering box. What I did do is whenever I took the last pump back and got another one, I got a power steering fluid cooler, and I added that in line. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna run a cooler because majority LS cars that have an LS engine, if you look it up, you look up the Tahoe, you look up the Suburban, you look up the Camaro, you look up the Corvette, everything has a power steering fluid cooler. I bet you didn't know that. I didn't know it either. I said, well, maybe my power steering fluid getting too hot and I need a cooler to cool the fluid off so the fluid won't break down. So the fluid don't overheat and burn the pump up or burn the seals and stuff up like that. So that's why I got the cooler. But I'm gonna tell you, every single person I know that does LS swaps, they all say you don't gotta have a power steering fluid cooler. That's what they tell you. You don't gotta have that. But you know what? That's my preference. So I think that after I swap this power steering box out, let me show it to y'all. After I swap this power steering box out, again, I'm gonna keep my cooler. Here's my cooler lines that I plumbed. If you can look down in there, yeah, you can see in there a little bit. You see that power steering cooler? Let me see if I can boom. Yep. You gotta look real careful. You can see the connections down in there a little bit. Right down up in there. So it's mounted to the front of my radiator. And here are the cooler lines right here, coming right here. And what you do is you just add this in line here. You connect one of them to here, your reservoir, and you connect one line to the return on your power steering gearbox. And boom, you still burp the system, bleed the system, just like the GM recommended way. Now you got a power steering cooler. So, yeah, man. We walked through everything, man, and as many times I changed the pump out. The only other thing that it could be is my power steering gearbox. And that is the quick turn ratio power steering gearbox, YouTube. You only have to, it goes like 2.5 turns from lock to lock instead of 3.5 or 4 turns like the older model car. So you get better drivability out of your vehicle. So next thing's next. To make a long story short, after all the work I put in, how many times I changed the pump, the work that I put in to change the power steering gearbox. I got to take it back off, send it back to the company, wait for them to send me another one. Then I got to go through the trouble of installing the power steering gearbox again. And as you all know, man, this ain't no easy work. It's gonna require some physical work up out of you, man. But, I just want y'all to know that, persistence will pay off. Persistence will pay off. You just gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep going, YouTube. You gotta keep going and do not give up. Just keep depending and keep leaning on the Lord to give you strength and continue to stay locked in with me so that we can be encouraged, we can be taught and motivated together, YouTube. All right? Once again, man, y'all lock in with me. Subscribe. For the ones that have not subscribed, make sure you click your like button right now. Click it. Like button. Turn on your notification button. If you have not a Gmail account, go ahead, create your Gmail account so that you can lock in with me and subscribe on YouTube. All right? We'll be back in a minute. YouTube.